Are you tired of the chaos in your content creation process? Do you often find yourself scrambling at the last minute to pull everything together only to miss an essential step and vow to never let it happen again? Yet, here you are, stuck in the same cycle. If this resonates with you, friend, take a deep breath and prepare to transform your approach. Today, we're going to dive into 5 transformative steps to establish a content system in your online business that not only saves you time, but enhances your service quality. Because we all want to provide amazing service and create that impact with our clients. So, why invest your valuable, non renewable time into creating a content system? Well, you implementing a system for content creation isn't just about saving time. It's about evaluating your entire business operations. And if you're new here, I love the back end operations of a business. A well-defined system enhances efficiency and consistency. And I love that as well. Streamlines your processes and then helps you ensure your content doesn't just sit on your computer, but it actually reaches the people that need to hear it, read it, receive it from you, however you're putting your content out into the world. So, what's holding you back? Is your content scattered across multiple platforms? Maybe you have things on Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, all the places. I once worked with a client who, to avoid for paying for cloud storage, used only free services that were available. The result? Lost hours searching for poorly named files and a sea of disorganization. We could have repurposed so much of the content if we were able to actually find it and access it. But instead, we had no idea what content was actually out there and what had already been created. It was like every once in a while, you'd hit a gold mine of content somewhere, but nothing was organized. It had generic names, if it was even named at all. So don't do that because that is so hard to be able to go back and reuse that old content. So you want to start by pinpointing the specific challenge that you're facing, friend, and the outcome that you want to have. Remember, your content is the cornerstone to your content marketing strategy. From the moment someone discovers you to long after they become a client, it impacts your social media posts, your content plan, your unused courses, or maybe your new courses in the future, email marketing, and even how your website is organized. But how do you actually create a simple, effective workflow? It's not as hard as you think it is, because once you recognize the gaps in your current process, you can establish that straightforward workflow that works for your brain. So begin simple. And then as you get more familiar and you're able to hone in a little bit more, you can build it out to be a little bit more complex. And you're going to want to do that more so when you start to look at bringing on team members. You want to have that infrastructure in place before you start to bring on your content VA so that they aren't searching for things. They know exactly what they need to do and they understand your workflow and how you like things done. And that also helps minimize your management of your team members. So you need to consider all the steps that involve from the taking your idea to actually being publicated, from your publication and promotion of it. So brainstorming your ideas, you need to keep an idea library so that you have an ability to fuel your creativity. You need to develop a content calendar. You can either do this with a rotation of the same different topics. So you have like 13 different topics that you like to talk about. And then just every week, you just rotate through those 13 different topics. And then you can keep going back and going back, just rotating through it so that you're only doing those few things and you're not having to come up with new and creative ideas. I shouldn't say new and creative ideas, but you're just going to look at a different way to do that. That might be a little wordy, but anyway, you need to develop a content calendar and you want to make sure that you're planning it and promoting it, and that's going along with your promotional calendar as well. Because remember, promotion isn't always about selling. It might be about engaging your audience or engaging that new person to join your email list or just to interact with your content on social media. Like get those likes and shares on there, or comments, I should say, on those different posts. And then you need to make sure you're coming back and measuring your success. I know I've talked about it before, but you need to set those clear metrics to evaluate if that content was actually effective or not. You need to break it down. At one point in my career, when I was a sales rep, I had our sales manager, I think he was actually our VP, say, "How do you win business?" And, we are all throwing different ideas out there. And he's like, "The same way you eat an elephant, bite, bite, bite. You're not going to try and do big things at once. Instead, if you're like me, you want to break it down into small, manageable pieces that when you look at your to-do list, it doesn't feel overwhelming because you have create content on your to-do list." Well, what exactly does that mean by create content? Like, are you recording a podcast? Are you recording a video? Are you actually scripting out? What is the piece that you're doing? And if you can do block scheduling and have certain days that you do things, then your mind already knows that on Mondays, I'm going to be scripting out my YouTube or my podcast. Tuesdays, I'm going to be recording it. And every single day, you can expect to know what you're going to do. And if you track your energy, you're going to know the time periods of the month that you are more creative and you're able to get things done more quickly. Because I know, friend, I have those. And for all my visual people out there, you can go ahead and use software to visualize your process flow. Or you can do one of my other things that I like to do when I need to get away from technology, and that is paper and pen, because I do have a paper and pen obsession. I just had this conversation with my sister-in-law this week. I think she had 3 notebooks spread out on her desk. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I get that. I have 3 planners and I think 3 notebooks plus my digital notebook and Notion." Yes, I have things in all the different places, but every one of them serves one specific purpose. So if you're like me and my sister-in-law, then maybe you too need to sketch things out on paper. But you can also use tools like MindMeister or Canva, because Canva now allows you to do all of your mind mapping and organization right in there. Then you can transfer those into your project management tool like Asana, ClickUp, or Trello. And now the thing with MindMeister is they do connect directly with the paid subscription to MeisterTask. Can I talk here? And then they're both connected, so you're not having to redo the work. So you can do it in there in MindMeister, and it will transform it over to MeisterTask. And I think actually ClickUp has that same feature. I know they did in their old version, but they did a complete overhaul of their software in the last year or so. And then you're just going to experiment and redefine. Because the thing with your content system, it's an ongoing process. Like it's just not a one and done thing. As you grow and develop, you're going to need to make sure that you're keeping that system up and going and that it is to your current methods and strategies that you're doing. And you will develop more efficiencies over time as you're doing it. And that is exactly what's supposed to happen, because you're going to evolve and you're going to be a different person than you were even last week. And you want to continuously seek ways to review and approach this. Now, just one other quick idea for you when it comes to creating your workflow or your system. Another piece of software that I absolutely love and use with my team is called Tango. It's a software, but it's an actual plugin that I have on Chrome. And what it does is I go through, and if I'm creating a workflow for somebody, it will take a screenshot anytime I click my mouse on a screen. And then it documents what I did. So they can go through and literally watch the whole thing, but instead of just being a video, it documents the process. So simple. If you struggle with creating systems for yourself, I 100% recommend that you try Tango. Like I said, it's an app that you can, or Chrome, it's a Chrome plugin, like Tango, the dance tango, just in case you are wondering. But anyways, okay, friend, it's time to wrap this up. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this information valuable. I would be so honored to help you streamline your processes so you can achieve your content goals faster. The link to work with me one-on-one is down below in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you, and I hope you make it a wonderful week. Yay! Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this episode valuable and learned some actionable tips that you can implement in your business so that you can feel accomplished and less stressed. If you enjoyed this show, please take a quick minute to share this with your business bestie, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps me reach more business owners just like you. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please reach out to me on my website. I've created a form just for you. Remember, with the right system and mindset, you can achieve the success your heart desires. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you next time. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And don't forget, let's grow, friends.